Hello everyone, welcome back. Now we're going to do some coding exercises using while loop. We would like to write a program that works like a calculator to adds up whatever we give it as an input, and it's going to work as long as we are adding a new numbers, except if we put 0 it will stop. So for example, I would like to add a few numbers and know the sum of all of these numbers. So I keep entering new numbers, and if I mention if I put 0 as one of the numbers, the program knows that I would like to finish the input numbers, and it returns me the result. So for this program, we need to write a while loop. We cannot write it using for loop because we don't know how many numbers the user would like to give us so that we can do the calculation for him. So as long as the user is giving us any number, we're going to store the number. And when he or she gives us the number 0, we consider it as a sign to that he is done with entering the numbers. So we do the final mathematical addition for him or her and return the person the result. So let's see how it works. I think when we run the code, we can understand it a bit easier. It's easier to understand. So we initialize one number called number, we initialize another integer called sum. We set sum to be 0, and then we tell the user enter numbers to add and 0 to stop. So if the person enters 0, the program is going to be stopped. However, any other number to be entered by the user means that the user would like to add these numbers. So the number is read from the user using cin function. So we write a while loop here. So the while loop would be like this. The condition is like as long as the number is not equal 0. So continue until user enters 0. As long as the user is not entering 0, enter this loop. We enter the loop. We assign the number to sum, store it in the sum, and then we ask again from the user to give us the new number that the person would like to add up to the previous number. So let's try it once. It's easier to grasp the idea. So I mention, okay, enter numbers to add. I say 1, I enter, nothing happens. I say 2, I enter, nothing happens. I say another 2, nothing happens. Now I put 0. So now it's done. When I put 0, it gives me the final sum. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 would be 5. And when I put 0, the program is finished because here we are mentioning that enter this while as long as number does not equal 0. So when I put 0, it cannot pass this condition, and it simply prints out the sum. And how is it printing the sum? So let me remind you of this. So we learned that this line would be, so what we have in line 181 here equals this line. So instead of writing this, they wrote this. So let me just show you how the program worked in my example. So initially I mentioned the number to be 1, 2, 2. Okay. So initially I said number equals 1. Then I mentioned number equals 2. Then I mentioned number equals 2 again. So it starts with this. So the sum is 0. It says sum equals 0 plus 1. Then sum equals 1 plus 2. Why? Because, so initially the sum equals 0 because we initialize it to be 0. And we enter the number to be 1 in the first round, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So 1 is assigned to sum. So then it goes for the next round. So as for this equation, sum equals 1 from the previous iteration. So the value of sum is 1 here, plus number. So as the second input, I put 2. Then the value would be 3. And then the equation would be 3 because 3 was the final value of sum from previous iteration. And in the new iteration, so the sum is 3 plus I mentioned the another 2, so the sum would be 5. It's exactly how it is computing this sum here. So 1, 2, 2, and then when I put 0, it exits the program. Let's try it once more. So so it's basically working like a calculator. If I say 1, 15, 18, 20, and then 0, it computes everything for us. So 20 plus 15 will be 35, plus 18 and 1 will be 54. So this is how our calculator is working here. When we smash the 0 button, it exits the program. And this is actually one of the usefulness of while loop. So we don't know how many input the user can give us. So it is customized. So one user can use it for 2 times, one user can put it for 10 times, whatever they want. And when they are done, they can put 0. Of course, we could do it using for loops as well. Using for loops, there were some ideas to say that, okay, we are going to ask you a bunch of numbers that you would like to add. Please first tell us how many numbers you want to add initially, be a priori. So that we could do in a for loop as well, but it's much easier to do it using while loop. So this is actually why while loop is there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to exercise these coding exercises yourself.